Okay, we are back for our last four problems in order of operations, and problem 7 is, oh, we saw this before, so we're actually going to tackle it now. We've got and then we want to close the bracket. If you have an open parentheses of any sort, you're going to close it somewhere. Okay, what a mess. Where do we start? Well, I see here that we've got this parentheses. But inside there's a lot to do, so how do we know where to start? So inside the parentheses, we have grouping parentheses here and grouping parentheses here. Since they're both doing the same function in the same place, we can do them at the same time. So we will take that and 12 minus 2, and I will mention on this one, if you wanted a shortcut, eventually you could say, okay, I can do that as well. I'm going to not do that this time. 4, inside that parentheses, 6 minus 3 is 3, and I haven't lost my parentheses because we noticed that those parentheses also serve as multiplication. Plus 7 minus 3 is 4, parentheses squared, close bracket. We still are working inside that big parentheses there. We've got two things going on. We've got, you may notice parentheses, but we've got to identify what's the function of the parentheses. In the first case, those parentheses indicate, they indicate multiplication. And in the second case, these parentheses indicate what? Well, not really too much. They're not necessary, they're just cosmetic. So we've got parentheses, we've got really only multiplication and cosmetic. So we don't have any grouping parentheses inside there. Those little parentheses, the rounded ones, don't indicate grouping, so we go, what's next? After grouping, after parentheses that indicate grouping, we've got an exponent. So that's what we're going to do first. 12 minus 2. And I'm going to just change that parentheses to multiplication to indicate, it's just, that's all it is multiplication. 4 squared is 16. Oh my gosh, we're still not done evaluating what's inside those big parentheses there. So inside there, we still have several things going on. Multiplication and addition, everybody's going to say, oh yeah, teacher, do that multiplication first. 12 minus 2. Inside, 12 plus 16. So at this point, woohoo, all we've got left are two sets of parentheses, and those with the square ones, they just mean parentheses. There's nothing special about that. So we can do both of those parentheses, and we would get 10. Let's do this. Let's keep everything. 12 plus 16 is 28. So now what's going on with all those parentheses? Well, you know what? All those parentheses just indicate multiplication, so I'm just going to rewrite it. And I'm going to squeeze up here. 10 times 8, 28 is 280. Woo-hoo-hoo, there's our answer. Okay, I think we've got to get... Alright, so we've got to get to the next problem, which, we've got parentheses and exponents. I need parentheses there. All right. Okay, we know. Obviously, those parentheses indicate grouping because there's a lot of stuff going on inside there, so we've got to do that first. But what in there needs to be done first? Well, I see exponents and I see exponents. So we'll take care of those exponents first. 16 divided by 2 to the 4th, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, would give us 16. And 3 squared would give us 9. So we're still working inside the parentheses. What inside there gets done first? Well, the division. 10 squared minus 2. Keep those parentheses. We're only going to divide that. 16 divided by 16. I'll do that. Is 1 plus 18 divided by 9. We're still working in there. Lots going on inside those parentheses. So inside there, what happens first? Please be careful. It's not 1 plus 18. We're not able to go left to right on this. We've got to do the division first, so we rewrite 1 plus 18 divided by 9 is 2. We've still got that, but that looks pretty easy. 10 squared minus 2 parentheses 3. So what do we have going on here? We have parentheses, but what's their function? Yep, these parentheses are just indicating multiplication. So we're thinking, okay, we've got multiplication and we've got exponents. So we know to do the exponent first. And we would get 94. Okay. Now, I'm going to mention something here. A mathematician and a math student with a little bit more experience would be able to do this in a few fewer steps. You will eventually be able to recognize when you can do things at the same time and when you really need to just go one step at a time. So I'm going to, in these problems, really take it slowly. So there's no question. Okay, so we are ready for the next problem, the next to the last problem. Woohoo! 4 cubed plus 2 brackets. Oh, and inside the brackets we've got parentheses with stuff going on inside there. There always is, right? Okay, I think you're all with me. We know we need to go inside here first, but inside there, what happens first? Well, we've got these parentheses, but inside those parentheses, what do we do first? The 3 squared. So do you notice we always go into the innermost part of parentheses, and that's where you're going to want to start. So we're going to take, after all those underlines, the only thing I'm going to do is square that 3. And I'm not going to lose my parentheses until I'm sure that they're just cosmetic. Okay, we've still got this, and inside there we've got parentheses which indicate grouping. There's something happening inside there, and it's not too bad. 9 plus 5, so we've got, excuse me, something opened here. 9 plus 5 is 14. I'm going to keep them inside the parentheses, squared. Okay, we've got lots of parentheses going on there. So what do we do first? Well, you know, inside that bracket we've got the 14 inside the parentheses squared. We're getting the hang of that. We go, oh, that's just cosmetic. So that just tells us inside here to square 14. 4 cubed plus 2 bracket 14 squared. I'll do that for you. 196. What do we have? We have parentheses and we have exponents. At this point, when you get good at this, you can do them at the same time, but let's not. These parentheses indicate what? Grouping, multiplication, or are they just cosmetic? They indicate multiplication. So that's not a P going on there, that's just an M. So we've got exponents and multiplication, and I underlined the exponents because we do that first. 4 cubed, I'll do that for you, 64, and 2 times 196, let me think, that would be 392. And there we've got just addition. Ooh, we got kind of a big number this time, 456. Okay, last problem. Oh, we get to use those curly braces. So number 10, 100 minus braces, 2 times brackets, 12 divided by 7 minus 4. Okay, I think this was the problem that I showed you before to indicate why we may want to use the other kinds of parentheses. So we've got a lot going on here. We've got these parentheses. We know we want to do that first, but inside there we've got brackets, so we would do that. But inside the brackets we've got parentheses, and they do indicate grouping, so we know that's where we start. Everything else gets rewritten. And I do not lose any of my parentheses until I know they're just cosmetic. And having said that, I will keep those. So now we've got those parentheses. Do we really need those? Nope, they don't indicate grouping. There's no multiplication going on. They're just cosmetic, and really they're not even all that pretty. So we know we don't have to do anything there. Inside we've got these. Inside there we've got that. And can we do that? Yeah, we can divide 12 by 3. 100 minus 2 bracket 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, we've got a lot of cosmetic parentheses here. We've even got some that indicate multiplication. To simplify that, what's going on inside? Well, I see those brackets, but they only indicate multiplication, so I can do that. 100 minus 8. All right, now what do you think about those braces? Are they cosmetic? Are they necessary? No, they're not necessary. There's nothing going on inside them to indicate grouping. There's nothing out front to indicate multiplication, so we can just drop them, and I'm just going to rewrite it. 100 minus 8, and ta-da, our last problem, our answer is 92. Okay, R1 is finished. I will see you in R2.